It's a saying that say sports bring everybody together, but nothing, I mean nothing, bring everybody together like war. It's Mac the Guru. This is my non-spoiler review of the movie Devotion. I'm going to give a spoiler version at the end of this. So I will go into spoilers, but I'm going to let you know before I start actually going into spoilers of the movie. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that like button. Now, if this is your first time here, you're probably looking and you see this hat right here. This is because I used to be a Navy chief. Alright, I know I look young, you know, but I used to be a Navy chief, and seeing this movie was refreshing. I liked that it was about the Navy. Of course, I already knew about Jesse. I already knew about Tom. I knew their story. So actually watching it, and the actors that played them was Glen Powell and Jonathan Majors. Both of them deserve Oscars. They was great. They captured the emotion that they were supposed to capture, right? Because you got a guy in Jesse who's, you know, he had to overcome some trials and tribulations to become what he became. You know, it was difficult for him. This is, you know, in the 1940s, the late 1940s into 1950, and you know, he had some struggles, and there was some stuff that was still against him during this movie. And then you have Tom, who's the guy that wasn't like other people. You know, he's white guy, and then Jesse is the black guy, which is Jonathan Majors. Tom is played by Glen Powell. They really captured the emotion of this movie. I mean, Glen Powell, Jonathan Majors, both deserve Oscars. I mean, great. Throughout this entire movie, it was emotional parts. I'm looking over at people watching this movie, and it was people that was crying watching this movie. And I said, wow, they really doing a good job. Like, I'm watching and I can tell they capturing the emotion, but other people are watching and they actually crying. So it justified what I was thinking. Like, man, they doing a good job capturing the emotion. And I look over and people are crying. So I'm like, okay, they really doing a good job. And it was a guy in Jonathan Majors, his character, right, Jesse, he had to overcome a lot. This is the late 1940s, 1950, in the Navy. It ain't too many black men in the Navy back then. It was some, but not a lot. Especially not pilots. It wasn't that many. I mean, it really ain't that many now, but back then, it really wasn't a lot. He might have been the only one, or only a couple, or three, or something like that. Like, it wasn't a lot of them, and he had to overcome all of the racism, you know. But that don't mean everybody is racist, you know, even back then. And the film showed that too, because the guy that Glen Powell was playing, Tom, he was there for Jesse, man. Even when Jesse sometimes didn't want it. You know, he was just a guy that's like, you know, hey, I'm here for you. You know, and they really captured the racial dynamic, right? Because it's like Jesse is going through all this racial stuff, whether at work or when he go home with his neighbors, with the cops, and yet he still got white friends too, you know, and it be like that. So like, as a black man, I was in the military. You go through racial stuff, but you know everybody ain't racist because it's dudes that you cool with and that you become close with from different races, nationalities, all that. That's what the military do. It's a saying that say sports bring everybody together, but nothing, I mean nothing, bring everybody together like war, like the military. It's no comparison, because to look to the right of you and see a person that you know is with you, no matter what their race is. I'm talking about in the heat of the moment. You see, in this movie, they show elements when people just out in the bars and stuff like that. But in the heat of the moment, you look to the right, you know it's an American next to you. You ain't thinking, oh, that's American, but he's black. That's American, but he's white. No, it's y'all two. Y'all got to make this thing happen, you know, and it captured that in this movie. I thought it was a great movie, man, you know, and I didn't know how they was going to shoot it going into it, because with Hollywood right now, it's a bunch of agenda-based stuff. It's like, you know, the movies just don't got that same that they used to have because of like the woke politics, man. They just don't. So going into this, I'm like, how they gonna make it? You know, is they gonna go too crazy? They didn't. It just seemed real. Like they tackled racial elements, they tackled a bunch of elements, but it just came off as genuine. You know, so this movie was great. Was it better than Top Gun? It's right there with it, man. I'm not gonna say it's better than Top Gun, but I ain't gonna say it's worse either. It's literally a movie you watch and it's up there with Top Gun, man. Like, really. It's more emotional than Top Gun, for sure. It don't got Tom Cruise, though, but it's more emotional than Top Gun, for sure. You know, so it's right. It might have it. It might edge out Top Gun, for real. I have to watch it a couple more times, because I did watch Top Gun a few times. But they did a great job. Now, this is when the spoilers come in. So if you haven't seen the movie, go check out the movie and then come back. Now, to go into details with this movie, bruh, you had Jonathan Majors. He done been through all type of race stuff, and he had this book where he would write down all the stuff that people said to him and did to him, and he'll just read it off whenever he need motivation. Dope. And he would do that, but he'll be doing it in public. So you'll hear him, the character Tom will hear him doing that and be like, yo, what's wrong with this dude? You know what I'm saying? And then he figured out what it was. And throughout the movie, they'll have different things happen where Tom will figure out a little bit more about Jesse's life, you know, and the struggles he had. Because they did him wrong when he was trying to become a pilot. They didn't want him to become a pilot. He had to work extra harder to become a pilot. And this truth, this fact. You know what I'm saying? So that part was dope. Then he died at the end. Oh, you know, which you know that's coming if you know the story. But just seeing it, you like, man, I was hoping they switched a little something up to make him survive. But nope, he passed at the end. And how he passed was, I mean, super emotional. His plane gets shot. He has to land the plane. He lands it perfect. But then he can't get out the plane. Tom goes down to try to get him out the plane himself. Like, so Tom crashes his plane, goes down to get Jesse out the plane. This Glen Powell's character. He crashes and try to get him out the plane. Can't get him. Another friend of Jesse comes down and he try to help. He can't get him. Jesse dies right there. Both of them leave. Dog. That part I was just like, oh man. And then Tom had to tell Jesse's wife about Tom and his last moments and stuff. So they captured that real well. Another part that was just amazing was one black dude, another black dude comes up. And of course there's other black people on the ship. It's just not a lot of them, right? He comes up and they not pilots. They just work on the ship, on a Navy ship. And this brought back a lot of memories for me just watching everything and stuff, because the older black people in the Navy, they do help give the younger people inspiration and vice versa, you know. So they gifted Jesse with a watch and was just like, yo man, we see you, We appreciate you. Because he was having a hard time. They put in their money and bought a Rolex for him and gave it to him. I said, oh man, this is special. This dope. And then he was just like, yo, thank y'all, man. I appreciate this. And you could just tell, like, he needed that to help him just a little more. You know what I'm saying? And that helped him get through the hard times, man. So I really like that part. And it was a bunch of stuff throughout this movie, though, man, where you see it and you go, dang, they got that right. And also, they go to France Cannes, or Cannes, people say it different, but I've been there. When I went on deployment, I actually been there. Big money over in France. Oh, big money. And that's what it looked like back then, too. Big money. They with actors and stuff, actress and stuff, and all of that was just dope to see, man. I really like this movie. We do 7 stars on this channel. If I gotta rate this movie, I'm gonna go 6.5 out of 7 stars. This is an A movie. For sure, for sure. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. And then if you have, let me know what you thought about the film. It's Mac the Guru. Remember, if this your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that like button. And like always, y'all be easy, be safe. Peace.